So I wanted to come on and talk about this Blunt and Girly versus Exoticals United controversy that's been going on these past few days. So if you haven't heard, they've been going back and forth. They've each made a couple of videos about each other, like addressing what they've said. And for starters, I watched both of their content. I believe I found Blunt and Girly first, and then I've watched one video and then went on like a binge spree, and then after that my content started, or my recommended page started getting filled up with like a lot of like similar content. And one of the channels that was being recommended to me at that time after watching a bunch of Blunt Girlies videos was Exoticals United. So that's how I found her channel, and then I watched a bunch of her videos, and then for like a week straight, like my entire YouTube recommended like the top videos every time, no matter how many times I refresh. Examples United does branch off into other topics that I don't really find as interesting. And she also spams a lot of content, which I feel like it gets kind of like makes the content watered down. It's like, okay, it's getting a little bit repetitive. Anyway, they've been going back and forth, and if I'm being honest, I do believe that Exoticals United is a bit unhinged. Like, I think if you were to look at this with the most fair evaluation, Blunt Girly came out on top of this one. Exoticals United did come off a bit unhinged with the way she. I don't know this girl, so but I'm just saying the way she handled the situation, it does seem a little bit unhinged. The more you dig into her background, it really starts to make you like look around and scratch your head, like, not only do I have so many more questions, but I'm like, yo, this girl might be a little bit crazy. And I believe even Exoticals United understands this, because that's why she hasn't really made a video, because there's no net positive out of that. Your diehard supporters will support you no matter what, so is it really necessary or worth it for you to make a video and essentially embarrass yourself, right? So it makes sense, and I understand why I would have done the same thing. I wouldn't have made a response and just carry on with my content, and just hopefully it dies down and you continue doing your thing. And I will say, I don't understand why Exoticals United went down this route, and I don't really understand why or why Exoticals United thought that this was the right path to go down. She was in a back and forth with Chrissy, and you guys know Chrissy has hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and Exoticals United channel is like less than 50K, right? So it's a huge net positive for Exoticals United, right? Because you have this large channel that's in a beef with you. So it makes me wonder, okay, you could have just wrote that out, took all your wins, and just enjoyed the growth of your channel and continue to make more money. Which then makes me ask, okay, why did you have to, bring yourself down with this Blunt Girly drama? Like, you could have just wrote out all of your wins. And it makes me think, did she get a little bit in over her head with all of the success that she was receiving with the recent back and forth with Chrissy, right? And she does come off a bit unhinged to me, or rather that the exotical community does a bit, because they will defend people like Halle Berry. So they'll defend Halle Berry as like the most beautiful person in the world. And like, the girl's hit. And on top of that, her situation with DDG, I do not feel sorry for her. Like, I'm not gonna condone violence. I'm not gonna say she deserved it, but it's really hard for me to feel sorry for her when you knew that man hits women. He is a well documented abuser. And instead of actually thinking whether or not you want to get with this person, the girl goes on Twitter and is like, the devil's working. What's that? Let me pull up the exact tweet, because it was actually so psychotic. Like, I actually started laughing out loud. Here it is. The devil is working. Heart emoji. LOL. Please don't feed into the lies, comma. Especially from a third party. Stay blessed. It's like, like, you are actually crazy. And I saw this tweet after her fallout with DDG, and I was like, this girl actually probably deserved it, because people like Halle Berry are so hard-headed that the only way, unfortunately, the only way that they will learn is if they go through the hard way and actually experience it themselves. So it just doesn't really make any sense to me. And then the exotical community will like go so hard for this girl. My analysis with Hallie is that, because I probably know a girl like Hallie type who's probably getting a lot of attention when she was a teen, so now this is like one of the very few times where she's getting attention from a man, and she doesn't know how to act. That's what I truly think is going on here. So that's why I said like earlier, like the only way that she will learn is if she actually experiences it herself and actually comes down from all of her delusions. Because I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, is she a Pisces? I feel like Pisces are also really delusional at times, especially when it comes to love. So she could be a Pisces, but she could be not. I was saying she breeds off as a Pisces. Like, Pisces are a little bit delusional when it comes to love. I love Pisces though. Don't come for me. But yeah, like Exoticals United was also defending Hal. I don't know how to say her name, with DDG. So that's like, okay, this doesn't seem a bit right. And then obviously her diehard fans, not her diehard fans, but the Exoticals community as a whole was like going really hard for Halle Berry. I was like, yeah, there does seem to be a lot of mental illness in this community. And I think Blunt and Girly really painted the entire picture for us to see, because I was kind of siding Exoticals United with a few of her takes, even though I enjoyed the majority of her content, especially when she talked about the black community. Like, I remember that whenever the statue was being talked about, the statue that was in Times Square, and black women were angry at the statue, saying that they would never depict any other group of women like this. And it's just like, that's a dead talking point, because 99, or I want to say 99, 90% of black women do look like that statue. And the thing is, when you bring up the fact that this is how you're being perceived, you're really destroying your own image. They will argue, oh, well, you're just playing into respectability politics. So you can't really argue with that. But then it's like, you can't have both. You can't argue that it's playing into respectability politics while at the same time being angry at the statue and how it's being perceived. It has to be one or the other. So it's either fix your image or be happy with the statue. But I really enjoyed Blunt Girlies and Exoticals United's take on the statue. And I think that's really what I will only tune into Exoticals United, is when there's like a big controversy going on surrounding the black community. So I've only just started consuming this kind of content. I usually skew more like a little bit of politics, a little bit of like random video essays that I watch to go to sleep. But overall, I think the situation Blunt Girly came on top, she really painted a picture for all of us. Like, these guys are actually crazy, and I don't think you could really argue back, which is why Exoticals United has not responded.